How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. A disappointing loss, for sure. Really just not a great game by the Rangers. Really, the only thing that was going well was the power play. To Tampa Bay's credit, they came out on firing on all cylinders, and they pretty much ran this game from beginning to end. Tampa Bay, in the first minute, they had 3 hits and about 2 turnovers, so initially you think, okay, this is not exactly the push we were hoping for from Tampa Bay, but they're hitting a lot. Third line with some pressure early in the period. Both teams trying to start fast, but in the first 5 minutes of the game, there were 4 or 5 stoppages at play, so just really start and stop. Third line again with a great shift. Possession leaks into the fourth line. Tampa Bay gets about 45 seconds of pressure, 7 minutes into the period, and it's very scary when they're cycling in the offensive zone. 8:03, Kucherov takes a high sticking penalty, and the power play just sucked. Fox with a couple of bad passes on the power play. Tampa Bay getting their sticks into the passing lanes, really disrupting the flow of the Rangers. Kucherov has a break right out of the box, but Shesterkin would stop him, and then Tampa Bay pushes. Fourth line with 2 great chances, but then Tampa Bay comes right back with a great chance after that. Tampa Bay continues to push. 7 minutes left. Kopp and Trouba have a 2-on-1 that's broken up. The Rangers are chasing throughout the entire first period. They're still playing well defensively, but they don't have as much offensive zone time as the first 2 games. Just under 4 minutes, Rangers get the puck into the crease, and the lines come together. So the Rangers have an offensive zone faceoff, and for some reason the fourth line is on the ice. I still have no idea why Gallant does that. I feel like he's locked into just, it's the fourth line's turn next on the ice. Go. He's a slave to cycling the 4 lines. It's an offensive zone faceoff. Put a better line out on the ice. But what do I know? Stamkos has a late chance in the period. Shots 12-15 in favor of Tampa Bay. No score in the game. Third line has an okay shift early on. It's harder to get clean passes. Like I said before, Tampa Bay really up. Whichever Ranger is touching the puck, Tampa Bay is just right on top of them. Really hard for the Rangers to make crisp passes this afternoon. Strome goes to the locker room. They showed the replay a couple of times. He gets a little cross-check in the back, but nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden he held his quad, and he went to the locker room, and he wouldn't come back for the rest of the game. So the Rangers were playing with 11 forwards for most of this game. Gaudreau is put up with the second line, a good offensive zone shift with him on the line. Just under 5 minutes, Colton jams Shesterkin after a glove save, and the lines come together because you don't hit goalies. 4:50, Lindgren and Colton take offsetting penalties. Lindgren roughing, Colton cross-checking. That was after Colton had slapped Shesterkin's hand. The lines come together. Lindgren and Colton go off the ice 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, but at 5:06, Zibanejad takes an interference penalty. So it's 4-on-3 for 1:45 for Tampa Bay. Miller and Gaudreau have a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and Gaudreau hits the post. This game would be very different if that was the first goal of the game. 6:38, Perry takes a slashing penalty, so we get 13 seconds of 3-on-3. Then we get 16 seconds of 4-on-4, and then the Rangers get a power play for 1:31, and Zibanejad would score on that power play at 7:37. At 8:23, Nash takes a goalie interference penalty, and at 9:44, Kreider scores a power play goal. He is now tied for the most playoff goals in Rangers franchise history. The Rangers are up 2-0 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But at 10:09, Trouba would take an interference penalty. It was his first of the game, first of 3 penalties taken by Jacob Trouba today. And it would take Kucherov 41 seconds to score a power play goal. So Tampa Bay pretty quickly right back into it. They cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Kakko is alone in front, but that gets broken up. Strome is back. He takes 1 shift, and then he leaves and goes back to the locker room. Couple of good shifts in a row late in the period for the Rangers. Good chance for the third line with about 90 seconds left. The lines come together at the buzzer because Maroon knocked down Zibanejad. Shots are 12-18 in favor of Tampa Bay at the end of the second period. We get to the third. Trouba takes his second penalty of the game, 37 seconds into the game. Tampa Bay pushes really hard to start the period, and that's what leads to the penalty. Kopp has a shorthanded shot 30 seconds in, but at 1:22, Stamkos with a rocket ties the game 2-2 with the power play goal. 6 minutes in, Kreider's shot breaks up Tampa Bay pressure, which was constant all period. 6 minutes in, might have been the first Ranger shot on goal in the third period. 6:27, Vetrano takes a goalie interference penalty. Really stupid call. Vetrano was trying to cut across the front of the crease and he gets pushed into the goalie. I don't know why that's Vetrano's fault or why the penalty is called on him. But apparently that's goalie interference because Rangers can't have nice things this afternoon. Gaudreau blocks a 98-mile-per-hour slap shot and he goes to the locker room, but he would come back and play the rest of the game. Rangers killed it off. I really thought that's where the game was going to end for the Rangers, but they end up killing it off. Gaudreau's back to the bench. 10:56, Kucherov takes a high-sticking double minor. It's at this point you think the Rangers have 4 minutes to score 1 goal, but Trouba said, nope, I'm going to take my third penalty of the game at 12:29. It's now 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and the Rangers get 27 seconds of power play at the end of that, but they wouldn't be able to score. So it is constant shots and pressure from Tampa Bay for the rest of the game. And if you were thinking this was going to go to overtime, you were sorely mistaken, because at 19:18, Andre Palat scores the dagger into the heart of the Rangers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning win this game 3-2 within the final minute of the game. Stats at the end of the period: shots 30-51 freaking shots by Tampa Bay. They owned this game from beginning to end. The only thing they didn't own was penalty killing. The Rangers, their 2 goals were both on the power play. That's the only part of the game Tampa Bay was lacking. Everything else was just a clinic on how to shut down the Rangers and just get through. It was a team unlike the one we saw in games 1 and 2. If this is the Tampa Bay that shows up for the rest of the series, the Rangers are in big trouble, especially if Strome doesn't play in Game 4, and for some reason Gaudreau would be out for Game 4 as well. If the Rangers are down 2 forwards in Game 4, this series is going to take a very wild turn for the worse. Face-offs, 50.9%. Hey, there's a silver lining. Power play, 2 for 5. Hits 37-38 in favor of Tampa Bay. Blocks 18-9 in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of pregame: who was the last Ranger, with an 8+ game playoff point streak? And it was Wayne Gretzky. He had a 9-game point streak with the Rangers in 1997. Although I'm sure Zibanejad definitely now has an 8-game point streak. Fox may have gotten an assist somewhere in there, so he may also have an 8-game point streak. So those two joining rare air after this game, even though the Rangers lost. We knew the Rangers weren't going to sweep the Lightning, so if this is the one loss of the series for the Rangers, it had to come at some point. But the Rangers need to win Game 4. If they don't win Game 4, they come back to MSG, and it's now a best-of-3 series against the Tampa Bay Lightning team that seems to have found their footing. If Strome is out, do the Rangers go 11-7, or does Rooney come in and play, but then who from the fourth line? I could see Gaudreau playing second line and then Rooney playing fourth line in Game 4 if Strome is out. But if Gaudreau is also out, who do you call up? Let me know in the comments what you think. Not much more really to say about this game. The Rangers were the slower team. They were playing on their heels, and Tampa Bay just took it to them. 51 shots. I mean, the Rangers got 30, to be fair, but if you're not going to score 5-on-5, I really don't think you're going to beat this team. Kid line looked good again. Not much more to say. Not much more I want to say about this game. Let's just move past it and hope that Tuesday night goes a little bit better. They're still in Tampa Bay. It is an evening game, so the Rangers with a few more hours to rest and recuperate before that game. And now it's not a must-win for the Rangers, but it is a must-win for the Rangers. Going back to MSG up 3-1 is the scenario this team wants and this team needs. Let me know your thoughts If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next rundown.